Well, welcome back to the show. Now, it is something many of us take for granted, and most of us cannot imagine living in a world without sound. But hearing impairment is a serious problem and is growing rapidly across the globe.
It is estimated that nearly 300 million people worldwide suffer from this disability. So this morning, we have Diva Jackson, a senior audiologist from Siemens Medical Instruments, to tell us how we can protect our hearing. Good morning, Diva.
Good morning.
Now, as an audiologist, you're trained to diagnose, treat, manage hearing loss. What is the extent of the problem here?
The problem here in Singapore,
yes.
We have a few really. Singapore is quite a developed country, but when it comes to hearing, it's something that doesn't necessarily make us look our smartest or prettiest. People don't want to know about it. So we can get ear infections here. Of course, earwax is a problem. Hearing loss that comes with age is a problem. All of that occurs, but it's not like a broken leg where people can see it and they treat you accordingly.
I guess you said it comes with age. I mean, is that natural? Does it mean that everyone rather, as they get older, is likely to have some form of hearing loss?
It's a myth that everyone will have it. So when you get over the age of 75, then it might be 1 in 3. Prior to that, it might just be 1 in 4. So, if you're lucky, you won't be the one, but one of your friends may have it.
Well, I know that many people are reluctant to have a hearing aid for various reasons. You can probably explain why as well. But you recommend that as soon as you sense that you have hearing loss, you should seek help.
It would make my life much easier if people did, but we know that it takes, from the time a hearing loss starts, it takes about 7 to 10 years before people go to see anyone about it. So hearing aids generally are, people say they're expensive, which they are. They're about the cost of a cup of coffee per day, given hearing aids last for 5 to 10 years. So not too bad, but still the perception is that hearing aids are expensive, and if you have to ask for repetition, maybe people think that you're not very smart, right? So it's expensive, and then people can see it, and then they might think otherwise of you. So hearing aids are not usually something that people want.
But you did mention it takes about 7 to 10 years before people start coming to seek help. I mean, why is that? It is a really long time,
Yes, lots of studies on that. Sometimes it's the cost. Sometimes it's the perception of the older hearing aids. So maybe your grandmother's hearing aid, where it was what we call the big beige banana, right?
Yes.
If I can show you. This is a hearing aid. Right? And you can see it's about the size of my eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe if you look at the eyes of the person next to you, that's about the size of hearing aids now, not a banana.
Right, and if you put them in your ears, I mean, it's hardly visible. No one will even know that you have it on.
Please have you say that, because I am wearing one this morning in my right ear. And so perhaps you can see the tube there, but certainly looking at me face on, you should not be able to see the hearing aid.
No, we did not notice this at all. But yeah, we'll just get the cameras to see if you can turn. So if you can show us again, right where it is, turn to the side.
Yep.
The cameras will come in and take a quick look where you actually have just a very thin sort of, it looks like a piece of string, that's all.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know my grandfather was reluctant to wear one because of that whole, big thing that he'd have to wear on his ear.
Exactly.
But I mean, these, honestly, I'd be scared you'd get lost in your ear.
Yes, so some people worry about that as well. We have larger hearing aids. But some people are worried about losing them, or as you said, because the controls are behind your ear, you can't see them. So you have to do everything by feel. So for some people, the small ones aren't right.
So at what stage of hearing loss should one take themselves to perhaps get one of these?
Yep, the signs that you look for are asking for a lot of repetition, or having other people tell you, that you keep asking for repetition is something wrong. And of course, people won't want to embarrass you, particularly here in our culture in Singapore. We don't do that. So that's part of the reason that it takes so long. But some people will notice, using the phone on one ear compared to the other, that one of the ears is not quite as good.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that you lose both ears. Often it's just one ear that is affected, not both.
Well, if both ears are the same age, you should lose both. But, if it's age-related hearing loss, but maybe not necessarily at the same time. So eyeglasses, the prescription might be a bit different in each eye. Same thing with hearing aids.
Okay.
And modern technology has made it such that, these hearing aids are not just standalone devices. You were telling us earlier how you can even, it's like like those Bluetooth devices that we have for our telephones, you can actually get this hooked up as well.
Absolutely. That's actually what I'm wearing on this side. So this device is my hearing aid remote control, turning volume up and down.
Right.
But it has Bluetooth, so it's also my Bluetooth earpiece. And when someone calls, I press my phone button, and I hear the call here in my ear and my hearing aid, so I can turn the volume up if need be, like you would on your phone.
Right.
Turning the
So you can play music and that as well from
Absolutely.
your phone.
The iPod, the iPad, the telephone, and you betcha.
So is it a case of the sooner you get fitted with one of these, the better?
It is, because the sooner you get fit with one, the easier it is to get used to it. Your brain is used to having 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands, 2 feet. And if one is not holding up, then the brain kind of forgets how to use it. So you have to relearn certain sounds again.
And also, having a hearing aid, does it help prevent the sort of hearing loss from worsening, or sort of, instead of letting it just get worse on its own, does this help alleviate the situation or improve it in any way?
It does not prevent it from getting worse. So particularly if we don't know what's caused the hearing loss, if it's genetic or aging, hearing aid is not going to stop it from getting worse, but a hearing aid, if fit properly, will not make it worse. And that's also a common misperception. People think the hearing aid will make their hearing worse, and it will not. But what the hearing does do for you, is there any improvement, any benefit to it? Just being able to hear people. Helen Keller was both blind and deaf, and she said when you lose your eyesight, you lose touch with things, right? You'd have to touch the table to walk around. But when you lose your hearing, you lose contact with people. So hearing your friends, your grandchildren, hearing your shoes as you walk across the floor, these are things we take for granted, but it's very uncomfortable if you cannot hear them.
At what point do you get to where there's no point in actually getting one? When you're
is there a
hearing
point
so
when it's too
bad?
late, I guess?
Yeah.
That it doesn't work at all?
Some people, there is a point. It's unfortunate. Some people don't adjust to the hearing aids at all, right? They can't get used to the stigma with them. The clarity is not there for them. And usually these people just withdraw. What we would love to have them do is go back to your audiologist, your dispenser, your doctor. We can often do some tuning for that. When you're completely deaf and a hearing aid won't be a benefit, there are surgeries that would be of some benefit. So there's really no point that people should stop trying.
Okay, thank you so much for coming in.
Tiva Jackson there, a senior audiologist with Siemens Medical Instruments, and if you'd like to find out more about hearing impairment, these websites will be a good place to start. We've got 2 on screen right now.
And I believe there's also a weekend seminar happening next weekend, is that right?
Correct. We have our 4th annual Hearing Awareness Week at Nisun South Community Center. It's just off of the Khatib MRT on the north-south line.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in. Well, we have to head off for a quick break. We'll be delving more into the world of the hearing impaired when we meet Lily Go, a musician who is profoundly deaf.
Lily has never heard the sound of music, but she makes music notwithstanding. We'll find out how that happens right after the break. And welcome back. Now, most of us take our 5 senses for granted as we go about our daily lives, but how would you react if you suddenly lost the ability to see, or worse still, to hear?
Well, earlier I spoke to Lily Go, an instructor for the hearing impaired and a successful musician, on how she coped with her disability. Lily is profoundly deaf and has never heard the sound of her own voice, nor the sound of the music she makes.
It is an inspiring story of courage and determination, and she shared with us the difficulties she faced growing up deaf.
But it's only a problem is good. Not only that, also we have the complication. That complication is the biggest problem. Because not many mainstream people don't know sign language, and also don't know much about the deafness. So I have a lot of misconceptions, like a deaf, or deaf abuse. But I put them wrong. I speak well.
When did you first discover that you like to play music?
Actually, when I was 10, I was chosen to be in percussion band. I learned how to play xylophone. I don't really like music at all, not much interest at all. When I sit for PSLE, the teacher gave me the goal that I need to perform solo. I didn't know why. Then my big day came. From there, nervous, crossed out my teacher, I made mistake.
Yes.
That made me work harder, and along the way, I developed interest and passion. Why? Because for this passion, I want to let that touch music take off you.
Was that when you decided you wanted to make a career out of music? Pursue your passion in music?
Okay. I started to take up private studies in music. After every day, when teachers that who work from SSO, Singapore, Japan, Australia, so I got myself grade 8 in percussion.
Wow.
That is my achievement.
So you can't hear your own voice, but how do you actually hear the music, or how do you feel the music?
Okay. When the music play like a top CD, okay. I didn't know what is going on. Without lyrics, I will not Swedish. I cannot tell the voice. So when the slow music play, I can be able to follow. If the music is too fast, I have to get someone who is able to hear the part out the word. Then I know that a lot of purposes I can be able to perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Extraordinary Horizons is a social enterprise you set up to promote greater awareness about deafness. Tell us a little bit more about your organization and the work that it does.
Actually, as a auxiliary officers in the registered or the form in 2011. This as its social mission that empowers the bring knowledge and skill to conduct course and workshop in language to public. Not only that, we provide interpretation to the deaf, and we also develop the performing arts in Singapore because there are the other deaf youth television. They have the interest in the music. After the primary education, they had nowhere to go. So we welcome them to develop it together.
Very inspirational. You inspire a lot of people around you facing similar challenges, I'm sure. What piece of advice do you have for people like that?
That's what I think about the quote that I always remember. Success is the backup of 90% of the hard work and 10% of the talent. A lot of the journey never give up on yourself. And when you fail, you have to use failure with the courage and persevere all the way. Yeah. That's what comes to you when you believe in it.
Okay.
That was Lily Go there, an inspiring individual who has excelled in her talent for music in spite of being profoundly deaf.
And if you wish to learn more about Extraordinary Horizons and their initiatives, please pay a visit to www.eohorizons.com.
Well, that is the show for this Thursday morning, but we are going to leave you now with a delightful tune played by Lily on her xylophone. Have yourself a good day.